Go ahead.
Hi guys, Tammy here from FormFlex Compound. And today what I'm going to share with you is I just wanted to share this mold with you that I was doing for my lantern. And it's kind of cool. I got it at Hobby Lobby and it's in the bake shop. And you can actually screenshot that if you want. It was either 40 or 50% off. Okay, so anyway, what I'm doing is I wanted to make like these little banners, okay? So when I saw that mold, I thought this would be perfect for what I'm working on. I'm working on a lantern that I'm making into Christmas. I'm working on a bunch of Halloween stuff and that. But I thought, like, for instance, the word joy here would be really cool put up across here. Nothing is glued onto this, but you can kind of see where I'm going with it. And I would tighten it up so that it does work. I already tried it, but it would hang down a little bit. So that's kind of the reason I wanted this mold. And then I got to thinking about all the other stuff that you could do with it. I'm getting ready to do a cauldron, and I'm going to put potion on the front of it. But what I'm here to show you is that you can take your FormFlex. I made all of these yesterday, and you can just take a little bit of your FormFlex, take it out of the bag. What I would do first, if your mold's brand new, I would super lightly cornstarch it, okay? So I already got the pea, I think, but I'm going to show you. You don't have to put these in the freezer. Then the next thing I would do is I would take the smallest amount of baby oil. I put it on a brush and then I rub it on my hand. And I just kind of move it around in the entire mold or by the pieces that I want. And then you don't have to put any of this in the freezer. You just want to use a light hand as kind of the secret to this. So let's see, I need the O. And I kind of think if you just push it in with your finger, you don't have to use the card. Very light-handed. And you can see it's pulling right out of there. And you can just take them right out. There's no, you don't have to put FormFlex in the freezer. We highly suggest it. That's the suggested use of it because it does, the detail and stuff is amazing when you use the freezer. But it has nothing to do with the performance of our product. And you can just go right ahead and just pull those right out and get your words made. I've got glitter everywhere. You can kind of see where I've got the glitter. But that's how easy it is. This mold was so inexpensive. You figure it was $2.99 and it was either 40 or 50% off. But I'm using a real light hand, okay? I would highly always, you hear me say it all the time, I really suggest that you get one of these instead of using your card. Your card will work. It's just going to be that you're going to have to use it light-handed, okay? So there you go. That's really simple. The other thing, like I do the same process a lot with leaves because usually when I want leaves, I want a whole bunch of them. I don't just want a few. And so then I'll make a whole bunch of leaves at once without having to put it in the freezer. And I use this little leaf mold that came off of Amazon. And I did this right before we went live. And I just added it to that. And I'll let those kind of dry. Or I could have painted it. I can paint them, take them off, whatever. But the leaf mold is another one that you can do this too. You can sit and make a whole bunch of leaves. If you're a scrapbooker, these are great molds for that. Then I showed this last year, and I just want to go back over it. This mold here, I believe, came from, what is the one that starts with an A? AliExpress or something like that. It was on Amazon for a while, and I didn't order it because I think it was $14 or something, and I wasn't sure if it was going to work. It is a 3D mold. It's an entire mold, and I took the mold and I cut it in half. Well, you can see how floppy it is. Okay, and this casting, I've only ever made 2 of these, and it's really floppy. So the first one I did, I put rubber bands and that on it. Well, then I found Brett was getting rid of a broken caulking gun. And I said, "Are you going to throw that out?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I said, "I need that. I need that." You guys, this mold works really great inside of here. It holds it in place and keeps it stiff because this is such a wobbly mold. And I don't want a 3D one, but I can't find a flat mold like that. And then when I get to the feet, usually what I'll do is I just take my card like so, and I had a card cut for the round of this, and I just kind of push that up inside of there. But this is fun. It takes a little bit of patience to do, but it works just fine. Once I figured out, and once I put it inside of here, you could do the same thing with like a half of a paper towel or a wrapping paper roll and keep it in there. In fact, it might even be better because it might come up a little bit higher, but you want to make sure it's low enough that you can still clean up your mold, okay? So that's one of them I wanted to show you. The other one that's kind of cool, this is the lantern, and this is going to go on the inside. Like I said, I don't know how I'm going to put it together. You can see I have a bunch of pieces. It's all gingerbread. And this is just a tape roll. And I believe, I'm not even sure, I keep going back and forth. I may check this. And if you guys want to learn how to do checks, Deb Riggs from Studio MD AZ plus her private group is where she teaches a lot of how to do the black and white check. And I want to turn this into a drum. And I think these guys are going to go around it as it sets inside. But what I'm going to put on the top is I'll trim this out like so with some FormFlex. And then I have those little white balls, those ones that you can buy, the little styrofoam balls that look like snow. I believe the Dollar Tree has them. You know, mine were from, I pulled out all the white ones from the 90% off of the red, white, and blue ones from the 4th of July from Hobby Lobby. But this guy is going to go on top of here with the fake tree. And then I did a bunch of presents and stuff that will probably go around the bottom of him. You know, I don't really know yet, but what I wanted to share with you is this mold is from Amazon, and I'll go in and paint some red and that on here. But you also get this one, and these were really inexpensive. I think I got these last week, and I wanted to try it. And that's the way it comes. So you can use it for resin, or you can use it with your FormFlex. And I just thought I hadn't seen a cute snowman like that. And at first I was thinking about cutting this mold down. I've showed that on a video where you can draw a line and cut your molds thinner when you buy a resin mold. But then after I got it done, I thought, nah, I don't think I'm going to cut it down. I'm going to leave it this thick because I want it to be able to stand like so up against a tree, okay? So anyway, I'm not going to cut that down. The other thing, here's a bunch of castings that I've got painted that I'm not even sure where they're going to go, if I'm going to use them. I've got some little tiny gingerbread people that came also off of Amazon. I bought that mold, I think, last year or something. But these are really cute. They're on Amazon. Those will probably go in the tree. I've got another, nutcracker, and there's the same one. I've had this mold for years. It's now on Amazon. Before it wasn't, but they're really a lot less than what I paid for mine because mine's by Katie Sue Design or something. And I have a couple of them, but I'm going to use that. And this kind of shows you how you can do it differently. This casting's pretty old, about 5 years, and I've had it up and waiting to use it on something else. This is what I used on ice skates. But you can jazz it up, so that just kind of gives you where you can use it like I'm going to use it. The other thing is that's kind of nice. I'm not sure yet how I'm going to do this, but I have a lot of options here. This is from one of the IOD molds, Mira from Vintage Retail Therapy. I'm not sure that she still has this. It's the holly mold, same one that's in here. Well, here's the pine cone. And these pots, I've showed those on my live also. These are a LeBlanc mold, okay? So you could use that. This one, I only casted part of it, but I thought that would be kind of cute using the pine cone possibly, and then putting some presents around it, depending on which one I use. If I decide the larger one or the smaller one, I can cut my pine cone down. But I thought that was kind of fitting. The color that I'm using is called Cinnamon by Folk Art. I had a really hard time finding just the right gingerbread color that I wanted. This is not the best paint because this bottle's empty. And I have gone through almost another bottle because, as you can see, this is one coat. This is going to take 2 coats of paint to 3 coats of paint. It is not the best paint, okay? So if you find another color in a different brand, I would highly recommend that you try, doing something that maybe has a little more pigment in it. But that's the color I used. These all came from, there was 6, I believe, in a package, or 5. I've had this mold for years. This is a mold off of Amazon. They're all different. I don't have them all out here. But I thought these would be cute going around this, with maybe the joy and some trees. I have the little trees that I've done, lots of little presents, So anything that you have, any mold that you have, you could create anything out of it. If you don't have a present mold, cut yourself a piece of compound and put a little bow if you have a bow mold. It doesn't have to be that particular mold. You don't have to have a ton of molds just to make something work. Just pick some core molds and make it work. Figure it out how you can create what you want. The other thing, I did show the leaf mold, yeah. So I think that was it. I just wanted to hop on and show you. These were a great price. Gosh, I wish I could remember what they were. And I just got them last week or week before.
What about that square thing over there? You had something for that.
This I was going to show you. You could do this too, and you could put like ho-ho on here. This is just one of those foam blocks. See, you can see it. It's a dice, okay? But you could stack them this way. You could do Noel going down. You could poke holes through them and make them for on your table with a word, Noel, joy, whatever, and put beads in between it, and then make it for placeholders. You could poke it all the way through. Put, let's see, you could use like the ornament top. Just do a part of the ornament topper and put like these here. I put the channel in them. So you could put these together and use just part of that. Make yourself, blocks, whatever. But what a pretty table piece, and very inexpensive, or a great gift too. The other thing is those little gift boxes that I made out of cards that I showed on a live. These would be, I do have one left, and I put it on there, and it was like, God, these work perfect on those little gift box things made out of cards. So that's another thing you can do with them. There's just lots of things, and if you come up with something different, let us know, share it with us. We do have a page where you can put all your creations on. It's called FormFlex Compound Creations. It's private, it's free. We just have to approve your post, and that way people can see what you create if you don't want to share it with everybody. So, there's always, we love to see what everybody else makes.
And you can find inspiration.
Yeah, there's a many artists on there. In fact, I wished I could put them on my main page. Then I have something, if it works out for the top, I've molded something to go on top of here. And if it works out, I'll show you what that is later. It's drying right now. I made it yesterday. So just get creative. Find something. You guys, you don't need to have these lanterns. You can take a box, cut a box up, do it out of a box. It doesn't have to cost you a fortune. I'm working on Halloween now.
But she did get this lantern at the Dollar Tree. It was $5.
Yeah, I showed that live when I did that. And this guy here I'm working on, and the reason I'm kind of snagged up on it, if you'll hand me the piece behind you. Okay, I cut the top of this off of, this is the LeBlanc mold that I did on a live. because I want the spider and the bat and that coming down. But what I'm actually doing is I'm going to run lights. I'm going to poke holes from the back of this, and I want this chandelier to actually light up. And I can't use this piece. I was just trying to figure out if there's a way I can use it, but I don't think so. I think it's going to make it too tall. And I want spiders coming down and all that off the lantern. But what I really want is the lantern to light up. And so therefore I had to put another piece, and I will put these on Jenga blocks so that I can change the batteries in there. Oh, I didn't even realize this was a frame. But, and that will hold that up off, and then I'll be able to slide and turn off and on my piece as I put this on. He's going to have a body and stuff. But just use your imagination. This is made out of FormFlex. You guys, I have never been a sculptor. I can't draw. I never have been able to because I'm too much of a perfectionist that I can't trust the process. So this has been real challenging for me to learn how to trust the process and not give up. So anyway, believe in yourself. Try something different. See if you like it. This, I have to say, has been fun. Now, if I can figure out, I'm going to poke holes in it. And I think it's going to work if you can see how tiny the lights are. To me, it's really important. And then I want it to light up around here. And then this will be his body. And curlers from the Dollar Tree. These are going to be his arms. And then he'll have creepy cloth body. So anyway, I don't know really where this is going. And that's the reason it's really hard to share. Same with the lantern. That's why I'll show you the process that I'm using. But it doesn't mean that that's the scientific art to it. It just inspires you to give it a try yourself. So be sure, if you know anybody that might enjoy this video, we would appreciate it if you would sprinkle it out. If you ever have any questions, let us know. And don't forget to order your FormFlex.
Our website's working.
Yes.
And actually, just so you guys know, it'll work with formflex.com and .net. They both work together, so if it ever happens again.
Yeah, we prefer that you use the .com. Yeah.
But we do have a backup.
Yeah, so anyway, that's a good thing. It's been pretty stressful around here, so life goes on, and we're over that.
We still love each other.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much for being here, and we'll see you. I hope this inspired you, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.